Hello everyone and welcome to another time-lapse video. IMVU recently announced a creator contest for the autumn season, so I walked through the creating process of my possible entries in this video. It took a very long time to make this video. I think I spent almost 12 hours excluding breaks and RL engagements, but at the end of the day, it was all worth it, hopefully. A huge chunk of my time was wasted on picking what to create exactly. Ultimately, I ended up doing a simple coat, top and fit pants. I think it took me longer than it needed to because I initially planned on making this a live recorded video, but it was taking too long. I have hours upon hours of footage of me in one spot doing nothing but explaining X process or detailing Y sub process. Also, it gets hot trying to record audio with the fan off to prevent the buzzing noise from leaking into the video. So, for efficiency's sake, the video just had to become a speed-through video. I made the base items in Marvelous Designer. You can see me making the pants here. I wasted a lot of time trying to sew in a zip that had next to no business being there. Then there were the pockets, which are always tricky to implement. I had to skip some other mini details here and there for time's sake because I had already spent about 3 hours just modeling the pants. The shirt was straightforward. There was nothing complex about the execution at all. I debated making it a turtleneck and adding a scarf, but I realized those might be better suited for the winter season. Lastly, the coat. It was a little nightmarish, as you can imagine, but I knew the autumn vibe wouldn't be complete without it. I went back and forth a couple of times on several aspects of the coat. The collars at some point weren't even folding properly, and I had to redo the entire thing off camera. But I'm fine with the way it turned out in the end. I exported with both the thick and thin settings from Marvelous Designer, but ended up using only the thin version. The thick version comes with a lot of extra polys that you might not need for your workflow. To add thickness in instances I needed thickness, I just used the solidify modifier. Of course, I set up my UV maps and materials in Blender. Yes, even for the zips, buttons and whatnot. Then for a change, I did all the baking in Substance Painter. I made both colored versions and derivable versions in Substance Painter. I haven't released the colored versions to the IMVU store yet though. Once the textures were ready, I went back to Blender and finished with weight painting. Yes, I reversed the A-pose and all of that. Also, I took special care of the hands area for the sleeves of both the top and the coat. Finally, I imported the 3 items separately to IMVU. I tried doing a 1-item combination, but the polys were too high from just the coat alone. This brings me to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed watching the process. Hopefully, it was worth the time. Thank you for watching this video, and here's to more 3D videos.